Top U.S. leaders warn that Putin, as in Russia, will be successful if lawmakers cut funding to Ukraine. Watch this.
We are much better sustaining our effort now, seeing this to success, than having to pay a much higher price later when we have to deal with a world full of aggression.
If Putin is successful, he will not stop at Ukraine. And if you're a Baltic state, you're thinking, I'm next. And you know, there's no question in my mind that sooner or later there will be. He will challenge NATO, and we'll find ourselves in a shooting match.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito joins me now. Madam Senator, if we don't keep helping Ukraine, Putin wins. Are you prepared to cut funding for Ukraine?
No, I believe that we need to keep continuing to fund the military efforts in Ukraine for very simply that reason. The degradation of Putin's army, the degradation of his power, and the ability for him to claim victory are absolutely in our national security interests. If he were to be successful here, I do believe, as Secretary Austin said, he will not stop. He will go into a NATO nation, and then we have obligations far beyond what we have right now. So I think we've seen the Ukrainians make great progress. We need to keep supporting them, and I intend to do that. Would
you like to see the president lay down a clear goal of how do you win this thing? And are we in danger of getting... I'm sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. I really am. I wouldn't do that. No, you're a U.S. senator. I don't interrupt. But
I think I interrupted you.
Well, that's allowed, ma'am. That is allowed, okay. Believe me. So, there is some concern that we're getting into another continual war. You feel that?
I do, and I hear that at home, and I share that concern. That's why just yesterday we implored to find out what is the end game here, what is the strategy that's going to move us forward. And you know, we cannot continue to support their government, their public officials, their fire responders. You know, we have obligations here, we have obligations at our southern border that we need to put more emphasis on to stop that. And so I think the American people want that from the president. I think he's been unclear. But personally, I think the fact that Putin could win here is enough of a challenge to every American for our future that we need to simply say we are on the right track. Ukrainians are standing up and fighting for their own freedom. This is about freedoms and democracies, and we know now what we see what's happening all across the world, how important it is to support those freedom-loving countries and those democracies.
In the wake of all these global security threats, you say we must not take our eye off securing the southern border. Okay. But we always hear this. We've heard so many lawmakers say we must address the border. But, ma'am, nothing ever gets done, does it?
Well, I made that point with Secretary Blinken when I asked him what's our strategy on the southern border, and he starts telling me about how he's negotiating diplomatic issues with, you know, South America and in the hemisphere, and I just blatantly said, it's not working. I even repeated, it's not working, and he did nod. And so, you know, the acknowledgement needs to be obviously at the presidential level, but I think that this ask that the president is asking for us for Israel and Ukraine, who I both support both, has to have not just more money at the border, it has to have substantive policy changes. Quicker asylum hearings, more stringent parole hearings, more border wall, things that we know that are effective to deter the over 200 people on the terrorist list, but the over 2 million that have entered this country over the last year.
A wall might help. May I suggest that? But
yes, absolutely.
It would, wouldn't it?
It would.
Shelley Moore Capito, U.S. Senator, thank you very much for joining us, ma'am. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.